Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today, October 20th, 2024. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful evening. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in the chat. Thank you guys for coming. Gandhi, much love. Good to see you, Marcel. Much love. Nikosmas, good to see you. Roving Fungus, much love. MeWeb, great to see you. Good evening. Rowie, good evening. Hollerhaint, great to see you. Banner, much love. Kari, great to see you. Much love. Thank guys. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but we're going to still have a wonderful evening and a great tarot session. So let's begin by talking a bit about today's astrology. So we're still in this moon in Gemini. We're all going to be in that outgoing energy and of seeking and desiring knowledge and communication, wanting to engage with the world around us. We're all going to feel restless. We're going to feel our emotions jump between feelings, feeling intense in one moment and then relaxed in another. That's that Gemini at play. But luckily, when we're under this moon in Libra, we can take a moment and bring things into balance. We can calm this Gemini energy and use it to our full advantage. We can pursue knowledge with that thirst. We can communicate with the people around us in a joyful, fun, rewarding way. And we can balance our emotions and our desires with that Libra, that justice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. All right. Let's talk for a minute about the title today. Shine your light in spite of the surrounding darkness. When I was meditating this morning, I had pulled the star card. And the star, right, it's that wish fulfillment card. It's that goddess Aphrodite, Kometho, right, Astarte. But it is also that light that shines in the dark, right? When we experience the new moon, when the light is at its darkest, Venus becomes the brightest object in the sky. She persists and continues to guide us, right? She is that point on the horizon. Beautiful, loving energy that we can see, right? And she is connected to Lucifer, who is the morning star, and she is the evening star, right? They go through those cycles of transformation. Beautiful, loving, profound energy. And when I was meditating on this, I had this feeling that it's about right now learning to shine and to strive. Part of that star energy is about that ascension. It's about seeking to greater heights. It's about overcoming one's selfishness, one's delusions, one's ego, and truly transforming, growing, and moving beyond their limitations, right? And we do that by persisting, by being true to ourselves and to our judgment, to our reason, by shining our light in spite of the world and the chaotic nature of reality, in spite of the confusion. We simply try and we continue to learn and grow and persist. We are that light in the dark, right? And we call to others to shine and to be their unique selves and to pursue justice, truth, reason, that middle path, right? Be that unique power unto yourself, to your own self be true, Beautiful, beautiful energy. And I also wanted to read to you an interesting poem the Muses sent me. It's a bit different, but it has to do, I've been talking a lot about the dragon tongue lately. We just did a live stream about the dragon tongue and this idea of the quiet and going in and speaking to those from the past and what that tongue is about and what that darkness is truly about and what is there, right? So we're going to read this. It's called Quiet Dead by George MacDonald. Quiet, quiet, dead. Have ye aught to say from your hidden bed in the earth ye lay? Fathers, children, mothers, ye are very quiet. Can ye shout, my brothers? I would know you by it. Have ye any words that are like to ours? Have ye any birds? Have ye any flowers? Could you rise a minute when the sun is warm? I would know you in it. I would take no harm. I am half afraid in the ghostly night. If ye all obeyed, I should fear you quite. But when day is breaking in the purple east, I would meet you waking, one of you at least. When the sun is tipping every stony block, and the sun is slipping down the weather crock, quiet, quiet, dead, I will not perplex you. What my tongue hath said, haply it may vex you. Yet I hear you speaking with a quiet speech, as if you were seeking better things to teach. Wait a little longer, suffer and endure, till your heart is stronger and your eyes are pure. A little longer, brother, with your fellow men, we will meet each other, otherwhere again. Beautiful imagery of transformation, of growth, and of understanding for those with ears to hear. All right. Let us hop to our sorties. Well, we'll start actually with Ganapati, sorry. Ganapati Ganesha, our oracle deck. Ganapati is the divine child, the Lord of beginnings, the guardian of the threshold, and the master of the spirits, the Ganas. And we ask them to guide our hand and to send us a message, to inspire us and ensure that our words are heard by those who need to hear them. So, Ganapati, what is the message? Ooh, what are we getting? Protection. Protection. Beautiful energy. Wow. And you see that shining bright dancer whirling in the sky. Wow. Beautiful. Protect your energy, right? It's about donning one's armor. Again, it really reflects some of that chariot and it reflects that Durga mother energy, right? It is about doing what is necessary to take care and to ensure that your loved ones are protected. It's about taking responsibility, you know? And it's about recognizing that connection to the muse and that we are protected and that we are guided and that we are not meant to fear, that death is not as evil as we think. It's just another transformation. It's just a stopping point onto greater and better things. If only we could see outside of time and see the cycles for what they were. Beautiful. All right, let us continue. We are now going to go to A Sinister Assassin by Antonin Artaud. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Artaud? Inspire us this evening. He will leave suddenly tonight at an unforeseen instant. He will leave suddenly tonight at an unforeseen instant. Wow. Oof, that's intense. We've all felt that loss, right? But that loss is part of the cycles again, right? There's a coming and there's a going. There is a togetherness and a separation, right? Everything is in flux. Everything is in movement. Everything is changing. And even if it is unforeseen, this is too but an instant. He will leave suddenly tonight at an unforeseen instant, and he will return suddenly at an unforeseen time. You have to learn to surrender and accept what happens to a certain degree, right? Learn to move with flow as the Tao would demand. Learn to follow one's Dharma. Interesting. Let us go to Lotrama, Malador, and other poems. Muses, what is the message from Le Comte de l'Autrement? Inspire us this evening. Let us therefore follow the current, which is serious owl. Let us therefore follow the current, which is carrying us along. Let us therefore follow the current, which is carrying us along. Oh, what beautiful confirmation, right? Learning to flow with the rivers, to harmonize, to dance and move with the chorus, right? Remember the other day we talked about this. You can be that rudder that moves and flows, that goes with the water, or you can be the rigid rudder, right? That tries to resist, but either way, you're still going with the current, kicking or screaming or no. Let us continue. All right, we're going to go to The White Goddess by Robert Graves. All right. Use this, guide my hand. What is the message from Graves? Inspire us this evening. The moon goddess spoke first, saying in verse, "What joy beyond compare to see a man so fair." The sun god was angry that she had spoken out of turn in this unseemly fashion. He told her to return and to come to meet him again. On this occasion he spoke first. To see a maid so fair, with joy beyond compare. This was the first verse ever composed. In other words, the sun god took over the control of poetry from the muse and pretended that he had originated it. A lie that did Japanese poets no good at all. With that, poetry becomes academic and decays until the muse chooses to reassert her power in what are called romantic revivals. How beautiful and wild. It makes me think of Apollo slaying, right? Python and becoming the leader of the muses. Let me read this again. The moon goddess spoke first, saying in verse, "What joy beyond compare to see a man so fair." The sun god was angry that she had spoken out of turn in this unseemly fashion, and he told her to return and to come meet him again. On this occasion, he then spoke first. To see a maid so fair, with joy beyond compare. This was the first verse ever composed. In other words, the sun god took over the control of poetry from the muse and pretended that he had originated it, a lie that did Japanese poets no good at all. With that, poetry becomes academic and decays until the muse chooses to reassert her power in what are called romantic revivals. Wow. It comes all from the moon, and the sun takes credit. The moon is the true sun, right? Wow. Beautiful. Love it. Let us continue. We are now going to go to The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe and other writings. Muses, what is the message? The head of the bolt had made its way through the collar of the green blazed jacket I had on, and through the back part of my neck, forcing itself out between two sinews and below the right ear. Wow, getting shot by an arrow. The head of the bolt had made its way through the collar of the green beige jacket I had on, and through the back part of my neck, forcing itself out between two sinews just below the right ear. Boom, through the neck, below the ear. Wow, some intense imagery. And we know The far shooters. This is something I talked about on the previous live stream, but far shooter is a very common epithet in the Greek. We see it associated with the goddess Artemis, the goddess Hecate, with Apollo, right? And Hecate and Artemis are both moon goddesses, often equated. Beautiful. Let us continue. We are now going to go to 10 Plays by Euripides. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Euripides? Inspire us. But you, old man, you have come most opportunely. Tell me what I must do to avenge my father's murder. Are there any friends in Argos well disposed towards me? Or am I altogether a broken man like my fortunes? Whom shall I make my ally? Shall I act by night or day? What path shall I take against my foes? Wow. Conspiracy for revenge, right? Interesting image. When you're going to go and commit, you need to talk to your tutors, to those who can guide you. Create the tactics that are necessary. Who are your allies? When and where do you act? How do you take, tactics. Exactly, Carrie. What are your tactics? Oh, wow. Are we engaging in battle? Let us continue. All right. We're going to go to Magia or Magaya by Alan Chapman. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Alan Chapman? Inspire us. So the worse it is, the more wonderful the outcome. So the worse it is, the more wonderful the outcome is going to be. So the worse it is, the more wonderful the outcome is going to be. That extreme nature of the flipping of the poles, right? Tit for tat. And the one extreme begets another extreme. Wild. Let's go. What do we have next? Byron. Okay. Selected poems and poetry. Muses, what is the message from Lord Byron? Inspire us. Dying intestate, Wands was their sole heir to a chancery suit and massages and land, which with a long minority and care promised to turn out well in proper hands. Inez became sole guardian, which is fair, and answered but to nature's just demands. And only son was left with only mother, is brought up much more wisely than another. Dying intestate, Juan was sole heir to a chancery suit and massages and lands, which with a long minority and care promised to turn out well in proper hands. Inez became sole guardian, which was fair, and answered but to nature's just demands, and only son left with an only mother is brought up much more wisely than another. Wow. So better the single mother in this instance. Inez became the sole guardian, and that was fair. That was just, right? Answered but to nature's just demand. An only son was with an only mother and was brought up much more wisely than another. Wow, that's interesting and beautiful. Love it. Praise to all those single mothers out there. Let us continue. Lorca, Three Tragedies. Muses, what is the message from Lorca? Inspire us. You I never could see when you were fancy free, but now that you're a wife, I'll find you, yes, and take off your dress, you pilgrim and a wife, when night is dark all round, when midnight starts to sound. Oh, wow. That's terrifying, very Pan type wildness. You I could never see when you were fancy free, but now that you're a wife, I'll find you, yes, and take off your dress, you pilgrim and a wife, when night is dark all round, when midnight starts to sound. Before you were taken, I had no interest, but now that you're taken and I can't have you, I will take you to assert my power. Gross and evil. Wow, that's some darkness right there. And it makes me think of the rights. It makes me think of Oscar Wilde's Salome, right? Think of that image of Joaquin and Salome. I want to kiss you on your mouth, right? I must have you. And when he refuses because he is a celibate man of God, she has his head and kisses his mouth anyway. Wild. Intense. Let us continue. We are now going to go to the bell jar. Sylvia Plath. Muses, what is the message from Sylvia Plath? Inspire us this evening. As I watched, he dragged himself slowly out of the neck-deep sea. As I watched, he dragged himself slowly out of the neck-deep sea. Makes me think of the Great Mother watching that Attis drag himself out of the mud and out of the waters, away from the nymphs, and eventually up into the stars, going through that path of self-refinement, seeking forgiveness through action, through getting oneself out of the muck and out of the water, doing that hard work of evolving, taking responsibility. Right? Let's continue. We're now going to go to the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. Muses, what is the message from Lao Tzu? Inspire us. Transformation according to circumstances. But this title does not throw a light on the meaning of the chapter, nor are we helped to any understanding of it by Han Fei with his additions and comments, nor by Hua Nan with his illustrations. The difficulty of it is increased by it being separated from the preceding chapter, of which it is really the sequel. It contrasts still further government by the Tao with that by the method of correction. The sage is the same in both chapters, his character and government both marked by opposites or contraries, which distinguish the procedure of the Tao. Transformation according to circumstance. Adapt to what you are faced. Adapt or die. But this is something that's hard, that people have trouble fully understanding. I want to read one more. This one people will appreciate. It makes me think of Saturn. Therefore, the sage is like a square, which cuts no one with its angles, like a corner which injures no one with its sharpness. He is straightforward, but allows himself no license. He is bright, but he does not dazzle. Wow. Therefore, the sage is like a square which cuts no one with its angles, like a corner which injures no one with its sharpness. He is straightforward, but allows himself no license. He is bright, but does not dazzle. He may cut, but he does not. Beautiful. Let us continue. You know, that makes me think of that Medea energy. And one of the tragedies of that story is that she only does her magic when asked. And before, even though she could, she never did it until Jason came on the scene. All right. Let us now go to The House of the Dead by Jeremy Reed. Muses, what is the message from Jeremy Reed? I tried 3 times to hold her to my heart, and she passed clean through me invisibly, intangible to me, desperate to hold her body without pulse or arteries. And she stood back and howled, my body's ash, my bones and sinews incinerated. Wow. I tried 3 times to hold her to my heart, and she passed clean through me invisibly, intangible to me, desperate to hold her body without pulse or arteries. And she stood back and howled. My body's ash, the bones and sinews incinerated. Wow. Three times he tried and failed. This is such a thing we see often. It makes me think earlier today when I was doing the Dragon Tongue reading, we were talking about the story of the great peacemaker, of the Iroquois, of the Haudenosaunee people, and how they brought peace to Tadaho, the serpent wizard, the shaman. 3 times Hiawatha went to Tadaho and tried to get him to join the Confederacy and to give up his magic. And 3 times Tadaho used his far-shooting magic to murder the children of Hiawatha, his 3 virgin daughters. And after that, that caused Jaganose, the great virgin princess, to get involved. And she went and spoke to Tadaho and convinced him to finally listen to Hiawatha. Doesn't this sound interesting and similar to other type stories we've heard elsewhere? Very beautiful. All right. I think we're going to go now to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me, snappyddts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. Thank you so much. All right. And we are now going to use the Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we are going to invoke that energy of Saturn and ask them to dissect our life, to cut it up and put it upon the plate. And we want to know, what are the interconnections? How do we best evolve? How do we best move and flow? How do we overcome the current conflicts? How do we manifest our true will? And what is the overall message for our community? And as always, our center card is the most important card. And today's center is luxury. Luxury. Understanding that we have these core loving relationships, these profound, deep relationships that are so rewarding that we often stay in that comfort zone because of how beautiful and how dependable these people are in our life. We often don't seek to grow beyond them. And that can become a challenge, because if we always have to grow and adapt, and if we do not grow, that luxury can eventually fall apart. But if we continue to work and build upon this luxury with those loving people, we can manifest that tower. We can make it to the plateau of the 6, that middle way, that balance of pleasure and harmony, of free-flowing reciprocal energy. Or we can take it higher even still to the 9 of happiness, or to the 10, the completion of satiety. Let's see where this is going. All right. Beautiful. The sun. The sun. What I'm seeing here is twofold. It's that this sun, the joy, the love in your life, what you're looking for, is found here within these core relationships. But more so, manifesting the sun is about building and working with these core relationships. These are intrinsic energies that come together. Where's this going? Yeah, beautiful. And it's about working together and wishing together, about doing that magic together to walk that middle path, engaging in that practice of shared reason, of telling a shared story, of pursuing an idea, that joy, that abundance, right? And working in that harmony, taking advantage of this luxury and building something, doing that magic to gain that true vision of what we desire. Where's this going? Oh, wow. At the top of our square, connected to our 4, we have the 6 of pleasure. If we can do that magic, if we can come together for a shared, harmonious story, then we manifest the pleasure. We grow beyond that 4, and we enter that perfected middle path of reciprocity, of loving balance, of shared communal energy. Beautiful. And of course, that sun, the most beautiful card we can manifest. Let's see where this is going. Wow. And connected to the to the 6 of Cups, we have the Princess of Swords, that divine child in the energy of swords, of the air, of the intellect, of those higher pursuits. This is that person who is seeking to grow and transform. The princess always grows to become that queen or that king or that emperor or that empress. She always manifests, but she must be nurtured and cared for, right? Responsibility is here. When we see the princess connected to the pleasure, what we see here is that the loving community helps raise the child, right? Helps that princess grow and transform into that beacon, into that universe at the end of the story, right? And through her, we manifest that sun, right? She's connected at the corner between the sun and the pleasure. So if we can provide for her, we can manifest the sun. And we provide for her by entering into that community, by expanding upon this luxury through that wishing. We gain the sun when we wish for it. And she is better for it, right? It's all connected. Beautiful. Wow. Look, Venus and Taurus connected to that princess. This is faded energy. This is that energy of doing the great work of tradition, of providing for community, right? This is that priest energy, building a temple, working towards that kind of goal, getting into those loving commitments of marriage, right? Committing and creating something that will stand and transform, building that foundational energy, connecting to the goddess as Hera, as Hathor. Wow. Right? And when we can connect to this energy, we bring in that community because we are providing that communal guidance. We are acting as that one who provides, who builds that temple and administers to the flock. And that brings the community and that raises the child, right? Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That devil energy, that devil energy. We come to this community in this balance when we invoke and we utilize that power. But we are being told we must be cautious here, right? There's a lot of pitfalls along the way. But if we can rely upon that true foundation, those true love and connected energies that we trust, if we can build with them, we can create that loving harmony, right? We can rise up the tower and enter that middle path. Beautiful. Where's this going? Wow. And connected to the devil is that moon. The devil is going to give us the power to connect to the moon. And the moon has been such a central theme today, a central energy with the swords ace. When I'm seeing this card here, what I'm seeing is that there's deep reflection. And it is about understanding purpose and transformation and growth, connecting to that unfolding, right? The moon is connected also to this hierophantic energy, right? That weave, that long-term planning of the goddess, the changing of the cycles, the rebirth of something new. Wow. Victory, drawing down the star. When we combine that energy of the devil with the energy of that mother moon, right? Diana and Apollo coming together, we then have that victory. We can draw down the star, right? Pascal's triangle, the diamond. We can draw down that star. And we can manifest that sun. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Okay. Let me flip and we'll take a further look. But before I do, once again, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does help. And if you find that this resonates, please leave a comment. Or if you have any questions, leave them below. And if you're interested in hanging out, come join us on the Myth and Lore Discord. You can find me there as Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right, let's flip. Here we go. Okay. All right. So we'll start here with the sun. You know, the sun here comes when we can connect to that divine feminine, when we can connect to that unconscious energy, and we can allow it to guide us, right? And when we can allow it to guide us, we can also nurture and give birth to this child, right? That pure reason in that virgin energy, right? Powerful, transformative energy. Amazing. When we look here at the luxury, we need to invoke that power of Lucifer to expand beyond this luxury, to move beyond our comfort zone and to enter into that pleasure. But we are reminded that with Lucifer, it's always about overcoming the trials and the tribulations. You must abandon greed and you must pursue love and harmony. And if you can pursue love and harmony, then you will gain that pleasure and you will manifest that loving, harmonious, reciprocal community, those greater friendships. You will expand beyond those loving relationships. You will maintain them and incorporate them with new ones in that growth of the six. Beautiful. Now let's look here. We have that Hermes energy, the magician, giving voice to reason, telling our story, imagining and invoking our will, transforming the world, right? We have the power. We are victorious. And we are doing what we are doing is we're building that temple. We are engaged in that foundational energy of enacting the will of the goddess upon the earth, about creating that community, about building something tangible and real, right? Venus and Taurus, manifesting that goddess on the earth, following the law, doing what is right in terms of that long-term flow, engaging in that synchronistic energy and allowing the change to occur. We can all feel it. There's a new rise coming. that goddess energy is coming back, and there's going to be new work and new things to be built. Beautiful. Wow. Now let's look at our crosses, right? Again, that Hierophant connects to the moon, to that unconscious, to that divine feminine, right? For the purpose of growing and building that family and moving beyond that family to manifest that community and to give birth to the sun, right? To transform our reality and to bring about a new golden age through that hard work of transformation and building that foundation, that temple of the muses. Let's look here, right? Wow, we have that victory, that fiery energy. We have this co-loving energy here. We need to now invest it in her, in nurturing her and raising her and ensuring that she is learning and growing. And that will also help us to manifest that sun and to create that pleasure. Wow. The key to all of this is about coming together in that harmony with this loving energy together for the purposes of manifesting the sun. And when we work together for that sun, we can build, we can become that community leader. We can become that community itself. We can bring back that feminine energy, right? We have the victory. The sun is our reward. We are ascending that mountain. We are nurturing the next generation. Beautiful energy, beautiful energy. I hope it resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. All right. Thank you, everyone. That was so much fun. Let's do one final sorties and we'll call it an evening. We are going to, where are we going to go to? Let's go to Don Juan in Hell. All right. The power that governs the earth is not the power of life, but of death. And the inner need that has nerved life to the effort of organizing itself into the human being is not the need for higher life, but more for an efficient engine of destruction. Death is what drives the universe. It forces that transformation and that evolution. It ensures that the cycles continue and that evolution and growth become us. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I see you again tomorrow for more live tarot and sorties. Until next time, take care.